welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I have a little bit of a paranormal update for you guys. I'm just gonna chat with you guys a little bit today. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit more casually because I'm not exactly feeling the best, which is a major bummer because, as you guys know, this whole coronavirus situation has been going on, and when you start to feel a little bit sick during this, even though I've been almost in complete isolation this entire time, when you have like an Etsy shop like I do, like I don't want to put my hands all over the products and to make things and to put it up in my shop when I'm not really feeling the best. I kind of want to like feel it out and see how I feel as time goes on. If you guys can tell, I don't sound sick. I probably don't look sick. I feel like I look a little bit clammy, to be honest with you. I was looking at myself before I sat down to film this video to make sure I didn't have anything crazy on my face, and I was like, I look like moist. I feel like I look really like sweaty, and like I actually just got done watching Ringu with Mark. We were laying in the bed watching it, and it made me remember something that happened the other night, and I'm like, honestly, even though it's not a massive paranormal experience, I miss when I would just like back in the apartment in like 2015, 2016, when I would just sit down and tell you guys like whatever, and it didn't matter if it was this grand, huge thing. I just shared what I wanted with you guys, and I wanted to just do that again today. That a lot of times I make sure I have notes down for what points I want to hit in the video and kind of the structure of it so that it's very coherent, because like way back in the past, I would just sit down and start rambling and people would comment down below, video starts at 6 minutes and 23 seconds and shit like that. So I really try to keep things as structured as possible, but I just don't want to worry about that in this video. I just want to be able to talk about whatever comes to mind. I don't really want to stress myself out about if I'm being entertaining enough and if I'm talking too long and if this is good enough or if it's not or whatever. Like I just want to be real with you guys and chat, and I think that there's some of you guys that are gonna find what I'm sharing with you guys very creepy. I don't remember what day this was that this happened, but this is probably one of the scariest things that we've had happen in a while, and this does kind of connect to an experience that I told you guys in October of 2018 when Mark and I were sitting in our living room, and we were, oddly enough, at the time this happened, talking about paranormal things and stuff like that. We heard from the room that I'm sitting in, loud bangs come from this room, like a fist on a wall. And when you hear a fist on a wall, you know what that is. You know what that sound is. It's not fucking drywall falling. It's not someone banging outside. You know that sound when you hear it. It hasn't happened like that since. But this is kind of similar to that, except it was right next to me. And I can't make sense of this, but it literally gives me chills just thinking about it, because stuff like this disturbs me. Something about like anything that sounds like bone on plaster. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like hearing that hardness of a hand. When you hear something like that but you don't see a hand, that is fucking terrifying. So we were laying in bed and we were watching a movie, and the way we have our bed is that, you guys may not know this, some of you guys probably do. We bought a house that floods because the people that sold it to us lied about the issues. We had an inspector, all that shebang. I always have to summarize that because a lot of people have called me and Mark an idiot for not getting an inspector and buying a house that floods, when in fact we did pay for an inspector. Because of that situation, our master bedroom, which is a very big bedroom, is completely unusable. After we had moved in, the house had flooded. The carpet smelled terrible. We had to like pull it out. It had like, God only knows how many like years of muddy water underneath it from the previous owners. It smelled horrible. That whole room needs completely redone. So at this present time, the only other two rooms in our house are these two small rooms that were supposed to be mine and Mark's office. It's this one that floods really bad when it rains. So I literally only use this room to film my videos. And then Mark's office, which is the same size, a very small space. We have our bed in that room, and because that room is so small and it has like a TV in it, it has Mark's computer desk, his computer, all that shit, we have our queen size bed in a corner of that room. It's literally like only a 2-foot space from the bed to his computer desk. It fucking sucks, by the way, if you're curious. But we have it like propped up in the corner. So my side of the bed is propped up against the wall. So on this night, I was laying next to Mark. We were watching something on the TV. No part of my body is on this wall, okay? It's probably about a foot from my body because I was closer to Mark. And I'm gonna describe this to you in the exact way that we heard it. It was as if there was another person in our room on the bed with us that took their knuckle and hit that wall. I am not one of those people that likes to assume things. I like to try and debunk stuff. But I know my house, I know the sounds that it makes. It was incredibly disturbing because it reminded me so much of hearing the full-blown fist, except this was in a completely different room than the one where the fists had come from, like the knocking. This is another thing that I find really, really strange. So if you guys remember, I've always told you this room that I'm currently in feels really weird. It's a room that we painted green. It feels a little bit odd, and I always kind of wondered if the person that lived in here died in this room. I don't think this is the room anymore, and it's really weird to me because we've had some strange occurrences happening in the room that we've been sleeping in, and now I'm just straight up confused, and I feel like my intuition was all off, and I don't even know what to think anymore. I really don't. I got to noticing that out of all of the bedrooms, all of the rooms in this house, that Mark's office is the only one where, I don't know what it's called, the trim that like connects the door. You know, like how the door hinges are put into the side of the door and how it clicks in? Like the wood that is connecting the door to the wall is the only trim in the whole house that is completely different. Almost like they had to rip it out and put new trim in. This is a little bit eerie for me, and the reason why this bothers me so bad is because I thought I kind of knew what room the guy had passed away in when we moved in, and I didn't think it was any of the rooms that him and I were sleeping in, because that just really bothers me, because the guy that passed away in his sleep. Like, we found his like obituary and all that. Like, we know exactly how he died. When we went to go sue the sellers of this house for selling us a house that flooded, our lawyer requested from the city, I believe that it was, all of the police records from this address, and we ended up seeing the full thing of like the woman that lived here and like the call that she made and everything that they reported on when they came here and found that he had passed away. And no, it did not say what room it was on there, by the way, at all. I know that he passed away in his sleep, so I am a little bit weirded out about sleeping in a room where he passed away in his sleep, and this gets even creepier. I hope that you're still with me with this, because this is just weird to me. I noticed that the trim on the door was removed, and that's when it hit me. This guy that lived here, he was very, very large. He was a big dude. If they had to put a stretcher in that room, there's a chance that it would have done damage to the trim on the door, and they would probably have to get a new door and to get a new trim. And I'll find a photo of this and show it to you, because when we first moved in, prior to realizing that it flooded, we were trying to do a little bit of remodeling and repainting and stuff like that. And also, weirdly enough, that was the only room that they didn't use as a bedroom. They had it like painted red and it had like a workout machine or some shit in there. But anyways, we painted that gray, and then the trim was this ugly brown color, and we ended up painting it white. But on the back of the door, I noticed that a whole big chunk of the trim is removed. Almost like they had put a stretcher in and went to go pull it out, and it ripped part of the trim off. The reason why this weirds me out is that, okay, since we moved into that room and had been sleeping in there, Mark told me that he has said this for months, that he has been sleeping so bad, and he's also been sweating in his sleep like crazy and just incredibly uncomfortable, waking up like 50 times a night, just sleeping like shit. Trust me, all this ties together. It's all gonna make sense in just a minute. And I don't know what this is too, but every time I talk about like this weird shit, like I feel really weird filming it. Like I almost feel like I disassociate a little bit. Like if anybody deals with like disassociation, you'll know what I'm talking about. I kind of have like this out of body experience when I tell this. It makes me feel just like really just like cool. I decided during this whole COVID-19 situation that I was gonna order some new sheets and a new bedspread. I told Mark, I was like, when we get new sheets, new bedspread, let's just swap sides and see if you sleep better next to the wall. Him and I switched sides at the first night that we get the new bed, which is the most comfortable sheets and bedspread that you could ever imagine, and we got it from Amazon and it wasn't expensive at all. That's a complete side note. That night, I slept so horrible. I woke up over and over and over again in the middle of the night, sweating my ass off. I never do that, by the way, okay? Just keep that in mind. I do not deal with that. I was so restless. I kept having fever dreams. I slept like absolute shit. So that entire next day, I felt horrible, right? So I didn't think anything of it at first, okay? My first thought was not, oh, this is really weird because Mark slept really good last night, sleeping where I always sleep really good, and I slept the same way he did and has been sleeping for months the first night I sleep over here. I didn't notice that at first. That night, I go to sleep there again. Same situation, sleeping like shit, waking up a million times, sweating. And it was even weirder the second time around for me because of the fact that I was so exhausted that night from not sleeping the previous night that I was just sure that that night of all nights I was gonna sleep great. So the next day, it didn't hit me right when I had woke up after sleeping shitty again that was really weird until I was talking to Mark about how I slept really bad again and I was so fucking exhausted, and he suggested swapping sides with me again to see if I sleep better next to the wall. And that's when it hit me. Why should we have to do that? Why should we have to switch sides so that one of us sleeps better? Can somebody please explain that to me? And so I told him my thought. It's really weird that you and I are both sleeping like absolute shit in the same spot, but when we swap, we sleep great. Basically, if you're next to the wall, you sleep totally fine, but if you're just like a foot away on the other side of the bed, it's like a completely different experience, even though it's the same mattress, the same sheets, the same bedspread. That's a little bit weird. So I tell him that, and he legit says to me, I was thinking the exact same thing. I just didn't want to say anything. And this is after we realized that it might just be that room that that person passed away in. And I know that some people might not understand why that's so creepy and eerie, but to me, that just fucking disturbs me. If I had known someone died in this house before we bought it, I wouldn't have bought it. I wouldn't have wanted it. I don't want to move into a house that's not that old, that someone passed away in less than 10 years ago. Like, that's just really eerie to me. When I found out about it, like the night that I found out that someone died in here, oh God, I just got sick feeling. I can't explain it. Like, we even heard a man whistling to a dog in this house, okay? Like, inside of the house. The people that lived here had dogs. Okay, we do not. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I got goosebumps. Oh, I don't know what to think. I hope that was coherent. I hope you guys are able to follow kind of like what I was saying and why I was saying it. I'm really disturbed by that, okay? And I want to know what you guys think. Now, let me know down below if any of you guys were thinking that in that spot that Mark and I sleep like shit might just be the spot where maybe he passed away. And maybe you could say I'm stretching, but try living in my house, try living in my shoes and living my life and having weird things happen to you like this, and then see how you feel about it, okay? It makes you feel a little bit crazy, and your brain starts to think of things that like just don't, it's not normal to just be like, maybe we're sleeping shitty last night because the guy that died in our house died in the same fucking spot. But I just want to know, why is it? And where is the logic behind two people that don't normally sleep that bad sleeping the same way, just as shitty, right in the same spot, but if you move a little bit over, you don't sleep that bad. Anyways, you guys, I was actually gonna film this video and I was gonna tell you guys something, like give you guys like an update for something that I'm working on that I'm going to be doing very, very soon. But I think I'm actually gonna put that in a second video because I didn't realize I was gonna talk about this for this long. So expect another video after this one telling you guys something I think some of you guys are gonna be excited about, and we'll just see what you guys think. But let me know what you guys think about this down below if you think this is as disturbing as I do. Like, I'm happy I have an experience to share with you guys. I just wish that Mark and I could catch a break. I feel like we just can't live anywhere that's fully comfortable. So over here on my channel, we like to leave emojis down in the comments because it lets me know who watched my video from beginning to end. So the emoji that I would like you to leave me down below today is the bed emoji, because some weird shit happened when I was in my bed. Also, remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and want more paranormal videos from me. It lets me know what you guys want. It's the best way to let me know. It's also very, very, very much free for you to give that video a thumbs up, okay? All right, you make sure you do that. Also, if you guys are not aware, I have a second channel. I have a ton of fun over there, and I would love it if you guys would go subscribe and go join me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you guys are having a spooky day or night, whatever it is where you are, and I will see you in my next video.